Hey gang, AV here. Welcome to my review of the G.I. Joe Retaliation Wave 3.5 Crimson Guard figure. Here he is in the packaging. As you can see, he is a blister carded figure with the vast majority of his accessories visible there in the bubble. Let's flip it over, have a look at the back where we see a couple product shots, some other figures that were also available in the Wave 3 and 3.5. And up there at the top it says the Crimson Guard are elite troopers that report directly to Cobra Commander. They are tough and powerful fighters, challenging the G.I. Joe team in hand-to-hand combat and unleashing their weapons with steel-eyed skill in a wild shootout. So, a little change there. Apparently the Crimson Twins, the Crimson Guard commanders, aren't relevant in the Retaliation era of G.I. Joe, which is a little unfortunate. But anyhow, that's about all I gotta say about the card. Let's have a look at the figure himself. And here he is. But before we actually look at him, we're gonna look at two of the accessories he comes with that are not currently on the figure. The first one here is this label sheet, which has a whole bunch of rank insignias as well as Cobra logos and whatnot, and you can apply these directly to your Crimson Guard on his arm patch or on the front of his jacket here to denote his rank. And I think that's really, really cool that they include that. The next weapon, or the first weapon I should say, is this rifle here, which is pretty nice. Nicely detailed. He does not have storage for all of his weapons. I mean, unfortunately, he does come with an extra gun, which is not the end of the world, but hey. He also has this generic figure base, which all of the later waves of Retaliation figures came with. This is just a generic dog tag shaped base. Doesn't have his name on here or anything. Single foot peg. You've seen that before. Here the figure. He also has this weapon, which is pretty cool. And as you saw, it fit nicely in his hand. He's got this weapon. Also, despite the reverse clip there, it fits nicely in his hand. It has a nice molded bayonet there on the front, which is pretty cool. He has, on the back of his vest here, he has a little sword sheath, which the sword fits into. Take the sword out. Blade is obviously painted, which is nice. He has a removable knife here with a painted blade, which is nice. And he's also got this pistol, which fits in the holster on his leg. His backpack, signature backpack for the Crimson Guard. Nice molded Cobra symbol right there. Hollow backpack. And last but not least, he also has this vest, which is removable. And I will be actually removing it in a second. It has this separate piece for his sword, which you can unpeg from there if you wish. To remove the vest, you just simply pop his head off. It clips in here. And you do want to be careful because he's got his, I forget what you call those. Like the braids, I guess, on these left-hand side. They will get stuck in the vest when you try to take it off if you're not careful. But basically, once you get it up and over his neck peg, you're good to go. I'm just working at an awful awkward angle here because of the camera, so give me a second. Making it look worse than it is. And there you go. As you can see, he's fully painted underneath which is great. So if you don't want to actually pose him with the vest, which is pretty cool, you can just simply take it off and add him to the ranks of your Crimson Guard figures. So that's pretty awesome. As you can imagine, the vest would hinder his torso articulation a little bit. However, you'd still get the swivel out of that. Besides that, his articulation is going to be the same. So I'm actually going to do the articulation without the vest. His head is on a ball joint, as you saw. Does a full 360. You can get a little tilt side to side. Look down and straight forward. Nothing up because of the shape of his helmet there. Arms. We'll do a full 360. Can go up very high. There's nothing at the bicep. Elbows can bend about 90 degrees and flatten out. They do a full 360 there. Wrists do a full 360. And I believe, yes, they do have the hinge. So this particular one can go up and down. Or I'm sorry, in and out. This side hinges up and down. Torso articulation, you saw he can do a full spin. He also gets a little bit of a crunch there now because his vest is off. Legs can go up about this high. Back pretty far. He can do the full splits. Double jointed knees. Ankle joint rotation, full 360. Pivots his toes all the way down. And all the way, and pretty good up too. So he's got excellent articulation on this guy. A good load of weapons, all of which make perfect sense. I love the rank insignia that you can stick on him. I think that's great. Let's get him loaded up just as a regular Crimson Guard, and we'll do our size comparison. Get him hold the sword. And the other rifle he wasn't holding before. Nice. Alright. Get him standing up. And first and foremost, here he is next to a vintage G.I. Joe figure. As you can see, the modern are noticeably taller. He's a 4-inch figure, whereas the vintage are more 3.75. The vintage collection Star Wars figures are also a little bit on the shorter side. They're meant to be 3.75, but Luke is one of the shortest of them, besides like Princess Leia and the obvious Ewoks and whatnot. Here is a Boss Fight Studio blank, 4 inches tall. Sizes very well with him. Marvel Universe Captain America. And last but not least, a Master Chief, who is 1/18 scale. So all in all, I think he's a great figure. He was part of the later waves of the Retaliation series, so unfortunately he was a little bit harder to get. I happened to find mine at Five Below. I was very lucky when I happened upon them. I do recommend this guy if you find him at a reasonable price. He has excellent articulation, great accessories, beautiful paint apps. He's going to fit in great with your army of Crimson Guards that you probably have already. I do recommend him quite a bit. So anyway, this has been AV. This has been my review of the Crimson Guard from the Retaliation line. If you like this video, check out my channel where I also have several other 1/18 scale figures and accessories reviewed up on there already. If you like what you see there, then please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.